Good Saturday morning, Looney Tunes fans. It is, I almost said Looney Tunes Critic fans. I've noticed that I've said that on a couple of these commentaries, Looney Tunes Critic fans. As if that's why you're here. As if you're here for me. No! We're all here in support of our love of Looney Tunes and Daffy, even though Daffy feels like he gets no respect. He's like the Rodney Dangerfield of the Looney Tunes, I guess. Great shout out to Bob Givens here, even though they misspelled his name. That is actually what he was looking like. He actually had that little tuft of hair on his chin there. Greg Ford, the director of this cartoon, I didn't really get to play much of this interview when I did my review of Quackbusters, but he talks about how this cartoon and also The Duxorcist was made in support of the movie. Actually, that came up because I asked him about it, because I really couldn't tell which came first. You know, it's a chicken and the egg kind of question. Was it the shorts, then the movie, or the movie, then they needed the shorts? So here's a clip of the interview where I talk about that with him right now. Would it be fair to say that Quackbusters as a paced-up feature was something of a means for the studio to gain back the cost of doing the shorts, The Duxorcist and Night of the Living Duck?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. But we promoted the idea of doing shorts, meaning me and Terry, much more than the idea of doing the compilation feature, you see.
Right.
So in a way, the compilation feature was a means to the end of doing the shorts. And I can tell you a story on that that's odd. And the shorts won. And as I think you might, if you're around then, all of the publicity was generated from the shorts. I mean, they were big. Yeah. I mean, you know, and I just the idea of using the compilation feature as an excuse to do new shorts. Yeah, that was one of the first things that attracted us to do it, because Terry had been a veteran of compilation pictures. He had worked on Daffy Duck's Fantastic Island, I'm pretty sure, and I was in a different way, which as a writer. I mean, the first things I did for Warner's were like early to mid 70s, but I didn't take a credit because it was they never got made, and if they did get made, they were made so badly that I didn't want to have my name on it anyway. But I guess Dave Dietich had died around then, and they didn't have any writers left, so they were fishing around, and they fished at me because I was doing shows of cartoons everywhere in New York, like at the Museum of Modern Art and New York Cultural Center, and some of them were big. You know, I mean, they attracted a lot of people. So it was, believe it or not, there was a time people didn't realize how great all of that stuff was, you know. But they responded well, you know. I mean, their films, as you know, the way they date is good, you know. A lot.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the biggest problem Warner's has always had is that they don't understand that the characters are bigger than they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Where did you come up with the idea of having Daffy be a paranormal investigator?
I mean, I'll tell you honestly, I wrote scripts for them and doing compilation scripts for compilation cartoons. Like I said, going back to the early to mid 70s. And they didn't know how to make them, unfortunately, but they would occasionally ask me for some concept idea for one of the other compilation pictures, you know, and I won't even tell you some of those things that I may have been responsible for because they ended up so horrible that, you know, I'm not even going to tell you. But at any rate, somehow I ended up doing this one, largely with Chuck's support, by the way. Chuck was very supportive, and Fritz was supportive, too, actually. So anyway, where were we? I'm lost again.
It's okay. We're talking about how you came up with Daffy as a paranormal investigator.
Oh, right. No, it was pretty simple. It was an executive thinking, looking at Variety and saying, gee, Ghostbusters is still number one in the box office. Gee, I have to make another compilation picture. Mm-hmm. And we only did one Daffy, so it should be Daffy. So I'll tell you, I was in New York, and an executive, not the president, but his underling, calls me on the phone and says, Greg, I got a curveball for you. Daffy Duck Quackbusters. What do you think? And I'm thinking to myself, it's the most foul-sounding thing I've ever heard of in my life. It's a disaster. I'll never do it in a million years. But as it happens, I was in a blood-curdling argument with my girlfriend at the moment, and we were just in tears, and it was awful. And so I said to him, great, I'll do it.
I get it. I've been there.